Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video I'm going to explain how to test the crankshaft position sensor in case that you have any sort of fault on this sensor. So I'm going to explain the wiring diagram. I will show you how to test the sensor with the multimeter and how to read and analyze the sensor waveform using an oscilloscope. But before that, if you haven't subscribed the channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button to get the notification when we upload new videos. Crank sensor is one of the most important sensors on engine control system. ECM uses this sensor signal for reading the engine RPM, for controlling the ignition timing. If your car has variable valve timing on the engine, ECM uses the signal from this sensor to control the variable valve timing as well. And it's very important to detect the misfire as well. So first of all, we need to see where this sensor is located. On many cars, this sensor is located at the front side of the engine. Like on this Ford, as you see, the sensor is located right here. Or on this Honda, we have the crank sensor at the front side of the engine. Or on this Toyota, we have the crank sensor located just right here at the front side as well. But on this car, which is a Kia, crank sensor is located at the rear side of the engine, which reads the engine RPM by monitoring the target wheel. So sensor is located down there under the throttle body, but the connector is somehow accessible for us, so we don't need to put the car up on the hoist for troubleshooting the sensor. And if I show you the sensor connector right now, this connector is actually for the crankshaft sensor. As you see, we have two wires, so I'm going to explain both wires, what they are and how we can diagnose them. So this is the wiring diagram for the crank sensor exactly for this car. As you see, the crank sensor on this car is a magnetic type, so it comes with 2 pins. So basically crank sensors could come in 2 pins or 3 pins. So some of them are magnetic type, so some of them are Hall IC type. On this engine, the crank sensor comes in 2 pins, which is a magnetic type. So as you see on the wiring, I have 2 wires, this white and brown wire. So white is actually the sensor ground, and the brown one is the sensor signal. So you got to be careful if your crank sensor comes with 2 pins or 3 pins, because the diagnostic is going to be a little different between these 2 types of the sensor. Because for this sensor, of course, we are able to measure the voltage on each one of these 2 wires, but the voltage that we are expecting, the range of that voltage is different between 2 pins and 3 pin sensors. And of course, on this one, we are able to measure the sensor internal resistance as well. But generally on the 3 pins type, we cannot measure the sensor internal resistance. And of course, after checking the sensor with multimeter, I'm going to show you how to test it with the oscilloscope as well. So basically, when you have fault on this sensor, you may have some symptoms like no starting or starting with a big delay. So engine behavior could be different based on the ECM control logic. So the first thing that you need to do in case that you have the crank sensor fault codes like P0335, P0336, which are related to the crank sensor, the first thing is to locate the sensor connector and make sure the sensor connector is connected properly and it's not loose. You can remove the connector as well to check the pins inside the connector to make sure there is no moisture or dirt inside the connector as well. And the next thing on this type of crank sensors is to check each one of those wires. And I'm going to show you how to check them right now. So first of all, I'm going to disconnect the connector. All right. This is the sensor connector. So as you see, we have 2 wires, as I explained earlier on the wiring diagram, brown and white wire. So brown is the signal, white is the ground. So I'm going to back probe each one of them. You can just test it from the front side as well. The first step for checking the voltage on each one of them is to disconnect the sensor connector and measure the voltage on each one of them when ignition switch is on and engine is off. So I'm going to check the voltage right now on the white wire. On multimeter, select voltage. Ignition switch is on. I put the black lead on a good ground. And we check the voltage. So as you see, in this case, we are getting 2.5, which is exactly what workshop manual tells us. And if I go for the brown wire, I'm changing the test probe to the brown wire. And right now, if I check the voltage, I'm gonna have again 2.5 volt. So you gotta be careful because this voltage measurement on 2-pin crank sensor or 3-pin crank sensor is gonna be different. Normally when you have a crank sensor with 3 pins, when you're checking the voltage reference or the signal when sensor connector is disconnected, you should expect something around 5 volts. But in this case, we are getting 2.5. So this shows that both of those wires are connected properly to the ECM and there is nothing wrong with that. Of course, if you are not getting 2.5 right now, you should inspect this wire between here and ECM because both of these wires are connected to the engine control module. So this is for checking the wiring, but can we check the sensor itself? Yes, we can test the sensor itself. We can check the internal resistance of the sensor to make sure if the sensor itself is okay or not. And because sensor is located down there, for having a better measurement, I'm gonna use these 2 pins. I will insert these 2 pins into the sensor connector so I will have a better steady measurement. All right, I have inserted those 2 wires. Now I can go for checking the sensor internal resistance. On the multimeter, select resistance, and then you can measure the resistance across those 2 pins. So as you see, we are getting 0.85, which is exactly within the range of the workshop manual. This confirms that the coil inside the sensor is okay and there is nothing wrong with that. So we already checked the sensor wiring and the sensor itself with multimeter. If you haven't found the fault, the next step could be checking the sensor with oscilloscope. Because generally when you check the sensor with oscilloscope, you are going to get some more information that might be helpful for the sensor diagnostic. For that, I'm gonna back probe the sensor on the signal wire, and then I put the sensor connector back in. All right, sensor is connected. It's ready for measuring the waveform. All right, my oscilloscope is ready. I'm gonna use one channel to read the waveform, and we will see what information we can get from the waveform and scope box. Okay. At the other end of this channel cable, I have these 2. One should go to the test probe that I have already inserted on the signal wire, and this one should go on a good ground. Okay, right now I have inserted my probe on the sensor connector. As you see, I'm getting something over 2 volts right now, but I need to start the engine to get the real waveform. All right now we are getting the sensor waveform. All right, this is basically the waveform that we are getting from the sensor. So let's stop the waveform and see what we can get from it. So basically all these up and downs that we are getting from here, they are actually the sensor reading from the target wheel teeth, because we have generally on this car, on the target wheel, which is next to the flywheel, we have 58 teeth and 2 missing ones. So these are basically the sensor readings from those teeth, and this is exactly where we have the missing teeth on the target wheel. So basically ECM, by monitoring and finding these missing sections on the waveform, it will find out the top dead center position. So basically from here to this point, if I set the cursor right now from here to there, this is exactly 1 revolution of the crankshaft from one missing section to the other one. So you all know that ECM reads the engine RPM by this, is going to detect the misfire by this, is going to control the ignition timing for this, but it does need some more information to find out at the top dead center right now which cylinder is at the end of the compression. So the cam sensor information is required for that one too. That's how ECM understand which piston is exactly at the top dead center and which one is doing the compression right now that's ignition should be happening. So the first thing that we can get from the waveform is if the waveform actually exists. The second one is actually the missing tooth, the missing sections, which are really important for the ECM to detect the top dead center. And the other one is actually the strength of the waveform. So it means if I zoom this one a little, so right here as you see, the waveform is nice and uniform. If you see the waveform is not that tall, the height of the waveform is not exactly what we are after. If you see the voltage is down, or if you see some part of the waveform is giving you something different, you need to focus on that one. Of course, the gap between the sensor and the target is really important for the sensor to pick up the signal. If the gap is not properly adjusted, you can detect it on the waveform. Having a bad gap between the sensor and the target wheel is not something that you can find out by multimeter. Oscilloscope is going to be very important in this case to help you find out what the problem is. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to visit the channel page for more diagnostic videos.